Okay. This is the off-grid shower recycling system made by Favian, Jermaine, and Pamula. For the project mission statement, we had a couple of roadblocks, a couple of issues because we were making it way too complicated um, until John told us to simplify it down because it really should be explainable to the average person. They should be able to get the concept of what we're doing very quickly. Um, and yeah, this is to design a sustainable shower system for people living off-grid in northern Canada during the summer. The system will prioritize water recycling, ensuring it can be used in places with limited infrastructure. Very simple, straight to the point. The design requirements summary. Um, right here, I'll explain the should, must, or could have had of our design. The shower should be designed to accommodate the average person, so around 6 feet in height. Um, it must be recycling, so should be a recycling system. Um, should have accessible filtration for replacement and servicing. It isn't a must, but we should have it just because if people use soap in the system, the filter could get clogged up and we would have to replace it. It could have had heating, UV lights, or a rain catcher. We decided to just go with a simpler design just because of time constraints. Recyclability, durability, and water efficiency are all important features uh, that we decided were required. Durability, just so people off grid aren't left with broken showers. Water efficiency, just based on other market products. We decided to make it efficient. And recyclability, all features should obviously align with our mission statement in helping recycle water. The commercial benchmark we chose was the rain stick. As you can see by the photo, it's very complicated, so we decided to just strip it down and take the most basic core components of it just to do our design concepts.
So this is my sketch, of the recyclable shower, and this was one of the first sketches that we came up with. And basically, I took the ideas, some of the stuff from the benchmark, and used it in my own design. We have three parts: a filter, a water housing, and a pump housing that I came up with. The problem we had with, or we figured out with mine, was that the filter was, I didn't really have an idea for how we can change that, and that would be proven as something that's important later on, and we'll see that in the later sketches.
Okay, so for concept two, we decided to go with a simple design. We decided to take one of the features from the previous concept, the slanted water basin, so the water can be directed into the pump easily. Obviously, at 6 feet in length or height, the shower pan accommodates for basically replaces already existing shower pans, so it can fit in most shower systems. Um, Decided to scrap the UV light, scrap the filter later on into the final concept sketch.
This is the concept three. This is basically a simplified version of the rain stick. So the shower system consists of the collecting the water from the filter, going through the pump and stored in the tank. The tank stores about 7 to 10 liters of water. It goes through the filter system. The filter system is accessible because it's the shower system is outside the wall. And it goes through the heater and obviously the shower head. Yeah.
So this is the product characteristic weighting matrix activity we did to compare our benchmark to the three products that we researched. We see the rankings here from what we believed was the most important thing to us, which was sustainability, all the way down to marketability. And it was easy to compare these as there was a lot of information on the websites comparing the specific values we needed to do to come up with the numbers that we did. And we determined that product three, which was loops, came out as the top winner, which we will use to compare to our own concepts in the next one.
So here's the concept decision matrix. Um, Obviously, there's the loops, same values as before for the rankings. Um, we found it a bit harder to compare our concepts to the loops just because the loops had way more information and marketing behind it. Ours was just kind of vague. Um, but we ultimately decided with going with concept number two to move on with the final concept design. So here's the final concept sketch. Um, as I stated before, we removed the UV light and the second filter for the sake of simplicity. Everything basically stays the same as before, carbon filter head, and all dimensions are the same. For the CAD, it was fairly easy to come up with the parts, just to model them. We decided to mock up the filter and the pump just because we couldn't, and the shower head, just because we couldn't find the CAD models online, and it was just faster and easier for us. Um, so yeah, basically here replaces the shower pan. The basin replaces the shower pan. This all is behind a wall, and the box comes out of the wall. And yeah, here's the flow diagram of that. Um, the water is either deposited or collected in here. Um, the pump is pre-primed, so we don't have to prime it. Um, and basically here we see the flow of water. It goes up through the pipes, through the utility box, out through the shower head, and collects in the basin.
So these were some of the negative stuff or stuff that set us back during the project that we learned. First one being the miscommunication regarding the information needed to complete tasks. Oftentimes, after our meeting, we get together and talk about what we need to do and who's going to do it. And often, sometimes, the clarification of how to do it often gets um, misinterpreted, and that's causes some setbacks for us. A specific setback we had was the Gantt chart. We had some problems with it as we did not look at the reference Gantt chart that was given. So we made up our own Gantt chart, which we found later in the next meeting to be wrong, and so we had to follow the reference Gantt chart we had that was given, and then we had to go to another meeting to make that get checked. So obviously that took a while, and um, we also struggled with picking the right commercial comparisons. This was largely due to the fact that when we first started researching, we picked up some products that we started to see was more portable and not really focused on recycling, which was really bad because that was what was in our mission statement that our system had to be recyclable. So that shows how important the mission statement is in getting us back on track, and we fixed that in our final research products. Yeah.
So the positives. So the first one is understanding the process and importance of planning a project. So from brainstorming to planning and coming up with our own concept drawings made the task of building a CAD model from scratch a lot more efficient. It's actually funny because at the beginning of the project, we didn't really get the point of doing a project charter, but as we moved on, we realized how important it was. Next one, identifying strengths and weaknesses of team members. This actually helped us come up with strategies. For example, it made it easy for us to decide on who will take over which task individually. Yeah. As we move on to the conclusion, I will talk about the key takeaways. So the first key takeaway we gained from this experience was learning the product development process. We gained a better understanding simply how an idea of a product can be transitioned to 3D model, basically, which included going through the process of making a project charter, the Gantt chart, and concept sketches to building our own CAD model. The next key takeaway was the consideration of user and environmental impact. This project made us think about how we can make our own shower system sustainable. For example, we had to analyze the amount of water conservation, and the way we did it was by making our shower system use recyclable water. Um, and the last key takeaway is the importance of technical and non-technical skills. Spending time as a group working on this project helped us develop skills like teamwork, time management, communication, and decision making, all under a specific time frame. Yeah. Thank you for watching.